Okay, today I'd like to go over articulations, the basics of articulations. And why do you need articulations in a chart you write? Well, basically, notes are notes, but the way they sound and the way they're played is basically made through articulations. And we'll go over a bunch of the basics here. Let me just write a few notes. Some of the most common ones you'll write are in the swing style, and that is longs and shorts. Okay, here's three that I use constantly. Short note, long, short, and accent. Bop, do, dot, dot. Okay, so this will cover possibly a big percentage of the articulations you write. And if you did not write those articulations, it may sound completely different than how you wanted it. So what I always do is listen in my head of how I want something to sound, then I just write out the articulations to get that sound. Okay, a couple of ones that you'll also need. One is the house top. And this one I think is overused a lot because the house top is really a fat note, like a bop or a bap type of thing. Sometimes I'll even write the word fat there at the end of a tune if you have bop, something like that. But I've seen a lot of times, three in a row, or actually more than that in a row. And I think sometimes this articulation, this pesante or house top or whatever you want to call it, I think it's overused because sometimes the writer simply wants a staccato note, but I guess this brings more accent. But I think in a jazz idiom, it's really just a fat bop type of note, and it usually is when the entire ensemble is playing. So I don't use that one as much as I used to. I think I used to use it more, but now I'm a little bit careful on when I use that particular one. Okay, let's say you have a rhythm here. Let's say we're in a funk style. And you have some 16th notes going, and this is when articulations really gets, let's say it's like a Earth, Wind, and Fire type of thing. And you have lots of notes and lots of rhythms. This is where articulation is really important. So a rhythm like bop, da 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 da, something like that. Let's see. Oh well. Well, you get the idea. This is technically rhythmically not very correct. But anyway, you could have short, accent. Whenever you have 16th tied over, it helps to, if you want it long, to put that tenuto with an accent, short, long, short, accent. I'm just making this articulation up, but that's a typical example of some of those funk type of lines or whatever, those rhythmic figures in that style. So be sure to write all those articulations that you want out there. Okay, couple things. That covers a good percentage of the ones that you'll want to do. I think the most important concept, if you get anything out of this lesson, is be sure that you hear what you want and then write those articulations to get the result you want from the players. Okay, a few things like particularly brass. If you want a shake is like a ba ya 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 type of thing. It's just a little squiggly line above the note, longer than a quarter note usually at least a half note. Okay, that's the shake. And another one that's used quite a bit is a little turn. A lot of times you'll see it written like this, also like this, kind of just a little up and down. And what the player does is, and sometimes you might even see it with an articulation like that. So the player would go be-lia-dot, do-lia-dot, so they actually turn. You don't write all the notes in there like an ornament in Baroque music would be, but you just write a little squiggly. It's really just an ornament in jazz. Okay, the fall off, another one, often with an accent. Fall off is exactly how it sounds. Everybody just falls quickly. But depending on how long you want that fall, you might have to write in for the players how long you want it. A quarter note fall, if you had a quarter rest here, obviously the players would cut off on the next beat. 1, bow, and off. Okay? But if you have a half note with a little fall here, you might even want to put long fall, or off on 3, or off on 4, or whatever. And that will tell the players how long that fall is supposed to go for. Okay, so you get the idea there. I think that about covers it. We covered this one, I think. The accent, long accent. And last but not least is the little scoop. Little scoop is just a little scoop into the note. Many times it has a long note there, but you might have a slur on a bunch of notes. So you just want to think of the player going dwee da da da, whatever. Okay? Okay, I think that about covers it. Articulations, really get used to, I mean, it's better to write in more articulations than less. If you want to err on the side of caution, write in every note. And players will never have a question on what you wanted or how you wanted those notes to be played. So before I leave you here, I want to play you something from Finale with articulations written in. And this is a Fly Me to the Moon 4-horn arrangement. And what I'll do is just back up here, and you can hear these, and I'll make a couple of points out of here. Okay, listen to this. Okay, you get the idea? Now, if you notice, almost every note has an articulation on it. Now, Finale plays it back pretty well, but you would want your players to play back just as well. So, check this out. Do dot, do da dot. Okay, so this particular note is going to be assumed that it'll be long. No jazz player is going to go do dot da da. It just is not going to happen. So I didn't have to write one there, but generally I'll give them the longs and shorts and the accents where I want them. Okay, the other thing here too is, in this particular measure, do dot do da do da do dot dot. So I put an accent there to tell the player to swing a little bit more. Now this is probably not needed, and this is probably not needed, but when I put it there, there's no question that I wanted do dot do da do da do dot dot, and that really helps get the ensemble swinging and sounding really good. Hopefully, if the players have a brain, they'll be able to just read those articulations down. So if you're a player, analyze in your playing charts. If you come across a lot of notes that you don't know how to play, the length of them or the accents on them, it's probably the writer, and he's falling short of telling you that information. So, like I said, err on the side of more articulations than less. Anyway, I hope that helped you out, and we'll talk to you soon.